everybody. Welcome to the channel. I want to get into this right now. As everybody knows, it's been reported that the BET Hip Hop Award show, along with the Soul Train Awards, has been either, I think, canceled or has been suspended. The CEO came out, they're rethinking how they want to package and market BET to Black people. Now, I'm a Gen Xer. I go all the way back with BET, back to the days of Donnie Simpson, the videos, Team Summit. They used to have news reporting on BET. They used to have some substantive type of programming. And of course, most of their programming leaned on videos, and not always the best type of videos that depicted Black people in the best ways. Bob Johnson sold, as you know, BET to Viacom Cablevision, which I think they're in association with MTV, VH1, which is a white company, not Black. BET is not Black owned. It's always been under the control since Bob Johnson sold it off of white people. So now you have someone like Fat Joe who comes out, gets on his podcast with Jadakiss and says, well, I believe what's happening is that they are gentrifying the BET Hip Hop Awards along with the BET Soul Train Awards, that is being gentrified.
BET, this is a form of gentrification, what's going on right now. Right, so I don't know if y'all really want to ask me about this shit right here, right? So BET came up as a community station for Black people, right? The urban culture. And our man, Bob Johnson took the check. He sold it, first Black billionaire, whatever the case may be. He sold it to Viacom and Paramount, MTV and them, VH1 and them. Little by little over the years, quietly, they've been firing a lot of people behind the scenes in BET, and everybody who has something to say, they've been firing them and this and this and that. And I know because I've been working on the BET Hip Hop Awards for 3 years. Shit was like the budget, not for me, but the budget just getting chopped and chopped and chopped. And
that he's been there for 3 years for the Hip Hop Award. He's seen how the budget has been cut down. I'm gonna put out the memo to Fat Joe, even though Fat Joe was able to state that, yes, he realized that they were brought out by Viacom, he still needs to read the memo and read it very properly. BET has always been marginalized. The programming on there has always been marginalized. And why is anyone surprised that they're cutting the budget for the award shows, those particular reward shows? Why do you think that they're moving away from it? Why is this a surprise? It's not owned by Black people outright. Now, Fat Joe also made mention, and he was right, that there's been lots of Black people that have been let go and fired over the years from BET Network. And once again, why are we surprised? Black people do not have any control over this network, even if they're hiring Black people to be the front people to make you think that it's all Black, when in fact, it is not. And I see what Fat Joe is doing here, because Fat Joe has been under a lot of scrutiny as it relates to him saying that when it comes to hip hop music historically, that it was a 50-50 collaboration between Black people in New York and Puerto Ricans in New York, coming out of, if I'm not mistaken, the Bronx. Now, Fat Joe has taken a lot of backlash, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism from the Black community. And because of that, he later came out, as you know, and admitted that he was completely wrong. And Fat Joe has been completely wrong for a very, very long time, everybody. So I think what he's doing by coming out so boldly on the podcast with Jadakiss, him and Jadakiss have a podcast together, He's trying to reinvent himself in terms of how he is seen in the eyes of the black community since he took a lot of backlash. Fat Joe didn't tell us anything on the podcast that we didn't already know as black people in terms of the ownership, in terms of how they marginalize and cut the budget for anything that's related to black people. Anything that's related to us, they will cut the budget for. Fat Joe didn't tell us anything new about that. Now, on the other flip side of this is that when you look at rap music today, is rap music today very positive for our community? What are these rappers putting out? We got drill rap. Of course, we've had gangster rap for a long time. We've got mumble rap. It's a far cry from the years, from the late 80s, early 90s, when you had guys that were rhyming poetically about things that was empowering black people. Remember, you had X-Clan, you had Public Enemy, you had groups like that, Digital Planet. These are groups that really were able to inspire us mentally. And I remember back in the day, you had everybody saying, "Go East, my brother, go East, my brother," as they were wearing the African medallions and what have you. So you had very positive, energetic rap music. Then you had the more metaphorical, should I say, rap that was coming out of New York. You had the Grandmaster Flashes, the Furious Fives. You had all that sort of stuff where they were giving you the poetry of what was happening in the streets of New York and all the boroughs in the New York area. But they weren't spending all their time saying the N-word, every word that come out of their mouth. Matter of fact, there was a time when people would look at you funny if you used that word, right? Because brothers in rap music were saying, "That's my brother." Things have changed, things have reshaped. And so when you look at these award shows, what value do they really bring to black culture? What value do they bring to black people? And I argue what we even miss these awards, because do these award shows bring us any value, anything new other than the same stuff that we keep hearing? How many times are we going to hear people like Future rapping about getting high? How many times are we going to hear someone rapping about taking another black person's life in the so-called hood? How many times are we going to hear female rappers talking about how they're the baddest bee and how they'll use men for their money? Or how people like Cardi B admitted that when she was a stripper, that she would mislead men, drug them, take them back to a hotel, and then have her transgender friends have their way with them. How much do we need of that? Not to mention that in years past, whether it be the Hip Hop Awards, the BET Music Awards in this case, or the Soul Train Awards, now unfortunately, we have to see our sisters twerking and dancing in such a way that gives off that they're only to be seen as sexual creatures. Do we really need to see more people on stage with sagging pants? Every word in their music is an N-word or some kind of firearm or something of some sort of negative nature. Do we really need that type of energy? These awards and how black people have been betrayed, the buffoonery, the chicoonery, all the nonsense that goes on in these award shows, the over-the-top twerking, how our black women are portrayed, the music, the lyrics. Is this music that really inspires black people? Is this music that really has been inspirational? Gone are the years of having someone like a Stevie Wonder, a Prince, individuals who really resonated with the culture. So what are we really missing? Okay, there's not going to be a hip hop award show. Fat Joe doesn't like it. He says that they've been cutting the budget, but then you notice he also made mention on that podcast that even though they've been cutting the budget, he's never experienced them cutting his money. You see? The question is, what value do these award shows bring to the black community, and do we need to continue watching them, supporting them? Do we need our kids to continue watching some of the things that go on in these particular type of award shows? Yeah, you have some people who have some pretty positive, there's some people out here that are positive with their music, but for the most part, you've got people that are also very negative. And I just don't see how these award shows benefit us in the long run anyway. And so therefore, I really personally don't give a damn that BET is suspending the Soul Train Award or the Hip Hop Awards. Soul Train is kind of hit or miss. The budget has been lowered over the years. The quality is what's missing in these programs. In the past, you had quality artists, you had quality programming, and you had people who had something real to say. Now I think everything is just a dog and pony show. And so Fat Joe says it's being gentrified. And I have to say, so even prior to these award shows being gentrified, were they really bringing any value to us? I mean, gone are the days that you had people like Michael Jackson that performed at these award shows on BET. Gone are the days that you've had really good artists, the Prince, Morris Day and the Time, Janet Jackson. I mean, we're talking about real soulful people, soulful people, the James Browns of the world, Angie Stone of the world, God rest her in power. Those days are gone. And so we shouldn't be surprised when we don't even really own these networks to make the decision about whether something to be suspended, continued or not. What can I say? This is just another way for Fat Joe to reinvent himself, to reboot himself, and get back in the friend zone with the black community by calling everything out as a gentrification. And you know what? Maybe it is, but it hasn't benefited black people currently. With that said, you've been listening to Truth Media Vlogs. And I want to say I appreciate you all out there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, okay? Share this video, tell people about the channel, the vlog channel, okay? I appreciate you out there. This is Information Man, and this is my vlog channel. Peace.